But first, there are more than 34 million cases of coronavirus around the world. 7 million of those cases are in the U.S. And right now, President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are among those cases. The president waking up this morning at Walter Reed National Medical Center in Arlington, Virginia. He was admitted there Friday afternoon after testing positive for COVID-19. ABC News reporter Andrew Dimbert joins us now live from Washington with the very latest on this one. Andrew, as we all know, the world is watching to see what happens with President Trump and also his cabinet.
Gray, as President Trump is still hospitalized here, he has not exercised the 25th Amendment, even though he is in the hospital. That would, of course, give the Vice President, Mike Pence, temporary powers to act as president in some capacity. Instead, the president is still at work. He's said to have a VIP setup at Walter Reed Hospital, equipped with an office and everything, and he is still very much fully in charge. The president turned patient, tweeting overnight from the hospital, "Going well, I think." This after being medevaced by helicopter from the White House to Walter Reed Medical Center in nearby Maryland. Trump, now one of the latest additions to the 7.3 million diagnosed cases of coronavirus in America.
I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support.
The president joins a small group of foreign leaders who have tested positive, including UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
I was at a hospital the other night where I think there were actually a few coronavirus patients, and I shook hands with everybody.
Trump and the First Lady found out they came down with COVID-19 after learning one of Trump's top aides, Hope Hicks, had tested positive Thursday morning. And new this morning, former White House counselor Kellyanne Conway also says she has the virus. The White House is now scrambling to track down everyone who has been in close contact with the president, but it's no easy task. Over the past several days, Trump has held several large-scale events, many with no social distancing and very few wearing masks. The president, in his fierce re-election bid, held a fundraiser at his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey Thursday, then appeared via video while declaring the COVID crisis all but over.
I just want to say that the end of the pandemic is in sight.
Hours later, he tweeted out, "The First Lady and I tested positive for COVID-19.
The president does have mild symptoms.
Multiple sources close to the president say he is experiencing the common COVID effects of fever, chills, nasal congestion, and a cough. As for the president's treatment plan, the White House saying he's being given a polyclonal antibody cocktail, as well as zinc, vitamin D, famotidine, melatonin, and a daily aspirin.
He continues to be not only in good spirits, but very energetic.
It's unclear when the president got the virus, but his positive result comes not long after that fiery debate in Cleveland, Ohio. Joe Biden and his wife Jill, though, testing negative. On the ground in Michigan, the Bidens wishing the first family well. And the timing of President Trump's situation could have major implications on this upcoming election. Certainly the campaign right now, obviously President Trump, because he's hospitalized, can't hold his in-person rallies, his signature in-person rallies. And Joe Biden, meanwhile, has pulled all negative advertising. Reporting live in Washington, D.C., Andrew Dimbert for Channel 6 Action News. Greg?